Hello, everyone. Good evening. I need to change my title. It started afternoon when I started this stuff, but my first take got way too detailed or way too philosophical, I think. And I just want to cover a couple of different things. I've got a demo of what the learning management system is going to look like for our participants. So when we talk about learning objects and we talk about learning plans, that you have a little bit better understanding of what we're talking about, instructor-led training, how do we schedule the Zoom things, all of that stuff. And then I do have a detailed calendar or schedule I'll review very quickly as well to just give you an idea of the schedule. You know, we had our master schedule that we used before when we were in class. We need to do the same. We just haven't, with this program starting out like this, we'll be building this. So this is an opportunity to share some information with you. And before we get into the video, I want to make sure, again, this is from our last, the explanation or the video I did on the program, that we maintain our focus on what this is all about. It's for the participant experience. We call it now preparing them for the new world. It was moving fast and changing before. It's going to be even more different after this pandemic experience it moves forward. The other thing that we've heard very clearly is we need to make sure that we maintain the relationships, that trust, and also the support that is really the foundation of what Twin Cities Rise is all about. So as this was designed, again, that's why we're doing virtual connections or virtual classes every day so that people can interact with others. They can interact with their coaches. They can interact with their instructors as well. So if I can make this work, I'm going to show you a video that is from Opinium, who is building our LMS content that provides you with a picture of what the system or what the participant is going to be experiencing when they get into the learning management system. Okay. She talks a little bit fast, but at least look at it visually on what the participant is going to be experiencing. I'll make a couple comments afterwards.
Community. So this is the end user perspective. And I added this header that says, welcome to the TCR community. I took this mission statement from your website. We can change both of these to say whatever you'd like or keep them as they are. We also made this page the direct page to access all of the content. So originally you had to click the My Learning and then you'd be able to access the content, but now it will take the user directly to this page. The user's name will be right here. They can add a profile picture. You can see, or they can see all the learning plans that they have not started, are in progress, or completed. They can access any of their completed learning plans if they just want to refresh themselves on anything they've learned. And once you have more learning plans or once we upload more content, you'll see them here, but for now we just have one. So we can click into the learning plan and you can see this About section right here, which just gives you a broad summary or overview of the entire learning plan. And you can also see the 4 VILT events, as well as, if you drop down this arrow, probably I think about 8 learning objects and activities to complete. We can open up one of these and you'll see, the end user will click this button and you will see once we have the instructor's email addresses and name, we will add the Zoom link. So it'll be right about here and the user will just be able to click on that link and it'll automatically take them to the class. So it's not in there right now, but as soon as Michael can provide me with those, I will upload them and they'll be in there. And then we can also click on a learning object and activity to complete. We can do the first one. This video will probably start off where I left off. So, but for any other user, it'll start from the beginning.
Teach them to value themselves and to have it.
So it plays. We can also check out a quiz. So the user will just click on any of the multiple choice options and then press submit. So that is about it for this so far. If you have any questions, please let me.
So she talks a little bit fast, but hopefully you got an idea of what the experience is going to be for the participants. They'll go into their learning plan and think of learning plan as the class for the week. It includes all the little subclasses that they will have, the group coaching, the emotional intelligence, the 21st century, um, skills training, that are all part of those virtual classes every day. But they will also have those learning objects. And just look at those learning objects as those are the lessons that they need to complete on their own. That they'll either watch a video like this and then take a quiz. They'll maybe read something that is applicable to the topic that we're talking about and do an activity. So those are all self-learning. There's no instructors involved with it, but those are the things from a coaching standpoint, from an education standpoint, that we'll be talking to people about, where are you at on your learning objects or your lessons that you need to complete. The other thing that she was talking about with those virtual instructor-led training, VILT is what they call them, is it's going to be pretty neat for the participants because once those are set up in the LMS, that's why the scheduling is so important and whose account are we using. That once those are built in the LMS, they will actually show up in our accounts. So in the regular training here, the Education Services Zoom account is being used for all of them. Probably my name will be in, or Suzanne's name will be in all of them, even though it could be a different instructor. They're just looking for our Zoom account. And all the participant is going to have to do is to look at the one on Monday. They click, as you saw in the video, and they'll be taken right to the Zoom account or right to the Zoom meeting. So again, it's very easy. We don't need to go in and set up things separately. If you do want to have a separate Zoom meeting for something else, that's still possible. But again, it's being all set up and coordinated inside the LMS, so it's very easy for the participants. The Career Club piece for empowerment maintenance and career launch, those are using the EI team Zoom account, because we're going to have everything very consistent, at least starting out 10 to 11:30 on all of the things, and we'll see. We may need to adjust going forward, but just keep in mind, learning plan is all of the activities they need to do, both virtual classes and activities for that week. And then once they complete learning plan 1, they will move into learning plan 2, which will have a separate schedule of virtual classes, a separate list of items, and I've shared those before. I'm going to share them a little bit more detail on the calendar as well. So that's kind of the experience. We're still working on some of the details of getting people assigned to different things, etc. But I wanted you to at least understand from a big picture standpoint, it's basically virtual classes and learning activities they need to complete each week, and then they keep moving forward in the program as we talked about readiness, education, career. And let me move a little bit. Actually, let me go away. That's better. Been some questions too on, are we going to have a master schedule like we had when we were in the classrooms? Yes, the answer is yes. We just, as we're trying all of this out and scheduling, and we'll be starting another session in June, trying to work out all the schedules. So we really couldn't do it for the entire year yet. We will do that, but it's just going to take us working through some of the details on these initial 2 or 3 sessions before we can plan things out. Just a couple quick highlights. I'm already way ahead of what I was doing before, so much briefer. But This document, and it's been shared a lot, but hopefully we'll put it into a more clear format. We'll be doing this for all of the sessions. This one is just the one that is going to be starting in May, in the session next week. So wanted to map out here, and hopefully this will make a lot more sense to you now, whether you talk about learning objects, learning plans, etc. So the readiness phase week 1 is really the learning plan one. Here's everything that they will be doing next week. On Monday, these are the virtual Zoom classes, the dates associated, and these will all be in the LMS. So they will show up on the participants' learning plan, just like you saw in the video. On Monday, May 18th, we don't have anything scheduled because we wanted to just kind of see how everything was working before we started moving right into Zoom calls and those types of things. May 19th, what we would like to do is an all-staff introduction to the group. Just like we've done in the past, it's not an orientation because we have a video orientation of all the policies, how the program works, etc. That is one of their learning activities. But we just thought we would do a staff introduction, have the participants introduce them to themselves, and just get acquainted on May 19th. All of these, 10 o'clock to 11:30 is the time segment. It may be less than that, depending upon what we're covering in any particular class. On Wednesday, Tanika will be doing the getting the resources you need to be employment ready in a virtual class, just like we did week 1 when we were in the classroom. On Thursday is the first emotional intelligence session, and Deb and Nicole are going to be facilitating. And then on Friday, May 22nd, is their group coaching resource support team getting together virtually with them to provide support and coaching. The lessons that they've got, these are the learning objects that you saw, those activities. Introduction to here's the virtual orientation, and they watch Tom's video as you saw. They have quizzes that they take afterwards to just verify that they got the basic ideas. They've got a strengths assessment that they're going to be taking, and then every week we have an activity. One of those objects that were listed there is meeting with your resource team. So they have to, this is basically what they will do for that first week of our session. We call it Learning Plan 1. When they move into week 2, they'll move into a more regular schedule. Mondays and Fridays, group coaching. These are all Zoom scheduled, so it'll be on their calendar. Tuesdays and Thursdays, emotional intelligence. Wednesdays, 21st century skills training. So we're going to just do an introduction to 21st century skills. Here is all the lessons that they will be completing as part of that. And we'll provide more color and more detail about what these entail. And hopefully you all will go through these anyway to see exactly what they're covering, or what they're learning as they move through the program. Week 3, again, Monday, Friday, group coaching. Tuesday, Thursday, emotional intelligence. Wednesday is 21st century skills training. Here is all of the activities that they will be having as learning objects for that session. Now, week 4 is when they move into the education phase, as you all know. And this is where it moves into more call center specific training. Of the training that we set up, and Deb has been wonderful in facilitating call center specific activities and skills. But again, Mondays and Fridays, group coaching. Tuesdays and Thursdays, emotional intelligence. Wednesday, 21st century skills. And here are the activities that they will be completing. And again, all of this is from our content and from our information, and we are just putting it into a different format for teaching and learning and application. So this will give you, if you want to go through it, all 8 weeks, all 8 learning plans that individuals starting in May will be going through as they complete the program for us. And again, we're focusing on the same competencies: teamwork, collaboration, communication, having resumes, working independently, good time management. All of those things are still involved. We're just delivering it different. And as I mentioned before, these are Career Club for those individuals that are in facilities now, moving over into Career Club, plus the other ones who have completed during this pandemic time, and also the ones before that. They're in Career Club. They will have the same learning plans. It will look a little bit different because basically we're just saying empowerment maintenance on Mondays, career launch on Tuesdays, and also employer services on Wednesdays, again, 10 o'clock to 11:30. This one will be using the empowerment Zoom account. So that we don't, because remember, we've got some already going at 10 to 11:30. These would use the empowerment Zoom account for those. And then we have the internship virtual check-in that Tanea will be doing. And we're working on the time right now because we want to make sure, again, that she has the time she needs. This will be virtual, a Zoom account. We're looking at 9 o'clock to 9:30 for that. And then the other, because we'll be using the education account, we need to make sure at 10 o'clock it's available so we don't kick people off. So hopefully, let me move this over a little bit. Hopefully that provides you with a little bit better understanding of what the LMS is, some of the language that we're using, the learning plans and the learning objects. Basically, again, learning objects are just the lessons. Learning plans are what they do the entire week. But one of the things I'm trying to keep in mind, we aren't going to be perfect out of the gate. But we are going to do our best to be perfect. We owe it to the participants to be perfect. Some things may not work out like we had hoped, and we're going to listen. We're going to adjust. We're going to pivot just as we've done for the past 8 weeks. We'll add new things as we go along. If you want to replace one of the videos that we're doing, absolutely, more than happy to work with you on some of those things. So we'll add new things. We'll take some things out. We're all going to continue to learn the new technology, just as we're expecting our participants to learn the new technology. It's been a challenge for me, but I'm feeling much more comfortable than I was 5 or 6 weeks ago. And we're going to be succeeding. I have no doubt this is going to be a fun time, or I think an exciting time for Twin Cities Rise, as long as we keep focused on that participant experience and the overall direction of relationships, support, and trust as we move forward. And I'll end here. You guys got a much shorter version of what I did before. It's going to take teamwork. It's going to take everybody being flexible. I added one. It's going to take patience. It's one of the things I need to work on. It's going to take persistence. It needs us to always communicate and be aware. And we all need to keep focused on that common purpose of that meaningful employment, job placement, job retention for the participants we serve. I have no doubt it's a different world, but our participants need us more than ever, and I think that we can deliver to them in a little bit different way by moving to this type of an approach. Have a good evening, everyone. Talk to you later. Please let me know. Again, all of these things are in the Education Services file, team file. Please grab the schedule. We will update it as things change, and things change pretty fast. But again, stay informed as we can. We'll keep you as informed as we can. Enjoy. Have a good evening.